A beautiful day down here in Texas after all the rain is gone. Thank you to everybody who messaged and emailed and commented asking how we were doing down in the Hurricane Harvey area. We did get a lot of rain during Hurricane Harvey. So it's great to see all the people who messaged us and asked about us. And I'd like you to know everybody at the Cord Carter News team is safe and sound. The offices did not get flooded, just a lot of rain here. About 20 miles away from where all the flooding happened. So we were close to it, but about 20 miles from here is where the first heavy flooding happened. And then down in Houston, they got a lot more. So thank you to everybody who messaged us and asked about our flooding situation. And I really appreciated all the kind words and messages and thoughts. So, but we're here for cord cutting. And there's a ton of cord cutting news, lots happening. Locals, all the basics are out there. So if you have any questions or comments, join us at cordcarsnews.com. There's a link at the top there. We're over on youtube.com/cordcarsnews and facebook.com/cordcarsnews. Would love to have you come join us and ask some questions. Well, let me finish sharing this. It's good to see you, Kathy, Robert, Tim, Brandon. Greetings from Houston. Brandon, how are you? Are you dry down in Houston? Movie fan, it's good to see you here. Let me go shares in the last place. All right, so we are live. Sorry about that. Always one more thing to do, one more place to move stuff, but we're here now. Let's get this going. Scott, hello. Brandon, let us know. I mean, how did you weather the storm? How dry is it up there, or down there, I should say, in Houston? And if you have a cord cutting question, leave it in over here and let us know. Paul, no, the CW is not on Fubo TV. They say coming soon. No word on DirecTV now adding the NFL Network. That was a rumor that started by a chat agent. I put a post up the next day. I was like, hey, I know some news organizations are running with this story that the chat agent said it would come this week. Well, now it's been almost 2 weeks since they said that. No NFL Network. Could they add the NFL Network? Yeah, they could add it tonight. The NFL Network could be on DirecTV now at any moment. But there is no evidence saying that it will be. I wouldn't buy DirecTV now expecting it. And the great thing about cord cutting is there's no contract. So if DirecTV Now comes out the NFL Network and you prefer that over Sling or PlayStation Vue, who currently have it, then you could do that in a minute. Yes, I do have PlayStation Vue. I have PlayStation Vue, Sling TV, Fubo TV, Hulu, DirecTV Now. I'm missing one. So I have pretty much them all. I do that for work. Hello, Greg. Dean says, I see that all the live TV streaming services like DirecTV Now is the next step in the evolution of TV. Do you agree? Dean, I kind of agree with that. I almost seem like, DirecTV Now, Sling, and all of them. It's like a stepping stone. It's making cord cutting a lot easier. Content providers have to do it because they're currently getting killed. ABC announced that profits at channels like Disney and Freeform is down 20% this year, and they're laying off 10% of their staff. So they got to get on board with stuff like DirecTV Now. That's why I think you're seeing so many locals come to them recently. Hello, Jay. Duke, good to see you here. Brandon says the sun is out and it feels like October. Some areas are still pretty bad. My family's safe and good. Well, that's good to hear. I have a cousin down in the Houston area, and she posts some videos. Her house is pretty much surrounded by water, but they're not flooded out, though the roads all around them are flooded. So it's good to hear that you are safe down in the Houston area. Welcome, Jimmy. Let me go look at one thing real quick. It's great to see everybody here. Keep the questions coming. I know it's been a kind of a crazy day. YouTube is a little different. I don't know if you notice YouTube's interface is a little different, and that's screwing up my flow here with traditionally how I do all the Q&As. Everything's in a little different spot. So, all right, everything is back to normal. I got everything here. Let's dive into it. Sorry, I just had to rearrange everything. just because YouTube changed everything and that put everything in a different spot and kind of threw me for a loop. Which do you prefer, Amazon HD TVs or Roku TVs? Well, I kind of have to go with the Roku TV for 3 reasons. It's cheaper, but the quality seems to be very similar. The Roku TV actually offers a better picture because it has 4K HDR, which the Amazon TV does not. And the third reason is I like the Roku TVs because they have a mute button on the remote. How did Amazon make a Fire TV without a mute button on the remote? How can you have a TV and not have a mute button? So it's right here. The remotes, I mean, past that's kind of nice. It does feel kind of chintzy compared to the other ones. They went with like a cheap plastic buttons versus either the high gloss plastic, which they used to have, or the rubber buttons they use now. So I'll keep that in mind. I think that this could be a minor thing that just annoys me. But lack of HDR is a big loss on the Amazon Fire TVs. You can see that I got the Fire TV Edition TV sitting right there on the table. And, you know, the price, it's priced more than the Roku TVs for the same size, but it doesn't offer HDR. I think that's a major failing on their part. Thank you, Eddie. Really appreciate it. If you're having a lot of buffering at things with Eddie, 3 things I recommend doing. A, check to make sure that you're actually getting the speed you pay for. A lot of people are like, I'm paying for 100, but you're not really getting 100. That can be a variety of reasons. And if you're not getting the speed you're paying for, contact your internet service provider. Consider upgrading your Wi-Fi network. Wi-Fi network is a couple things. Even if the signal is strong, if you have a cheap Wi-Fi router and a ton of devices on it, that will slow down the network. You want at least an AC standard, Wi-Fi network AC, which is like N, but it's the next step up. Number 3, if at all possible, don't use Wi-Fi hardware. Those are all things to consider. What's the best streaming service for Roku? Like, what do you want? You know, that's the tough thing about saying what's the best streaming service on a Roku. It really depends on what kind of content you want. You know, if live TV doesn't matter to you, then that's not important. If you're a football fan, though, you probably want a live TV streaming service now that football season is here. So keep that in mind out there. Shop around. Most services offer a free trial. I say try them all. See what you like. It really is a personal opinion what's a good service for you. Yeah, rebooting your router is another good thing there too if you're not getting your internet speed you want. I do that about once a week. What do you think the price for the new Apple TV 4K TV box be? I expect it at least be $150. I'll be surprised. Let me rephrase this. If it comes out with an internal hard drive like the current Apple TV does, which I wouldn't be surprised if Apple dropped, you know, the 64 and the 32 gigabyte internal hard drive, because that's only available to the gaming aspect of the Apple TV, and I don't think gaming really became a big thing in the Apple TV. You don't hear Apple talk a lot about gaming. Kind of like how Roku made a little push into gaming. They had like Angry Birds included with the Roku 3, and that was a motion control remote on the Roku 3 when it first came out. And they kind of realized people didn't buy Roku for gaming. And I think Apple's kind of realizing the same thing, that they're not buying it for that purpose. So I won't be surprised if Apple comes out with just like a gigabyte of internal memory. That's more than enough to install apps on. So we'll have to see. But 150 seems about right if they just upgrade the current box with what it is now. I'll be surprised if it comes in less. Wouldn't be surprised if they offered a non-gaming version of the Apple TV at maybe $100. That's kind of the sweet spot that I think Apple needs to hit if they really want to be successful. About $100. They need to come up with a version to do that. Is CenturyLink Stream available nationwide? I think I heard technically it is now. A lot of people have been struggling to sign up because CenturyLink's sign-up process hasn't been allowing a lot of people to get in. I was unable about a couple weeks ago to get in when I wanted to do a review and even talk to them about it. Say, hey, I'm trying to review your product. I keep getting these errors. And their tech support and their PR staff basically told me to pound sand. It was almost like they didn't want me to go do a review of the product. So is it? Yeah, I guess so if you can actually get in there. I think the price point for CenturyLink Stream is too high. $45 for it is way too much compared to what the competitors are offering. I did learn something new today. They do offer the Pac-12 network. They've apparently added some networks to the service since it launched. But I just think $45 is too much for what they're offering. All right, keep the questions coming, and I'll do my best to answer them. Android more friendlier than regular Android. Android TV is more friendly than regular Android. It's just a better user interface. Is it more cord cutting friendly? Android TV? I would say it's no more cord cutting friendly than Roku or an Apple TV and so forth. Is Charter Spectrum's TV streaming only available in certain areas? Jennifer, yes. So Charter did come out with the live TV streaming service, but you have to have Charter's internet, so you have to live in a Charter market. And some of the legacy markets, like the Time Warner Legacy and the Bright House, it's not available there yet, but they say it's coming soon. Bill asks, is CBS on DirecTV now? No. Today, again, they came out and said in the next few weeks it will be added to DirecTV Now. Both the CW and the CBS network will be added in the next few weeks. Hey, Luke, can that TV in your background be jailbroken? Well, no Fire TV new boxes really can be jailbroken. You don't need to jailbreak them to add Kodi. You can sideload Android apps onto the Fire TV, including the Fire TV TV edition, which you see right behind me. Yeah, so yes, you can add that. No, you don't need to jailbreak it. You just sideload it. Any idea when YouTube TV will get an app on the Amazon Fire or maybe Roku? Google came out recently and said Android or YouTube TV, which is their live TV streaming service meant to take on Sling and PlayStation View, DirecTV Now, etc., will be getting more device support this fall. Does that mean it's going to get a native app? I don't know. For instance, the stream you're watching, if you're watching over on our YouTube page, you can cast this live feed to your Roku and Fire TV and watch it there. So it's possible that the new device support will just be a casting ability to go to your TV. Or they may release a full app this fall. We don't know. They've been rather cryptic, no official real announcement. This was just part of an interview where I think vice president of something or other came out and said, yeah, we're working on an app for more, or we're working on support for more devices. Even I just said an app. So keep that in mind. Greg says, I'm running TV OS 11, beta 7. Works fine. So Greg, so TV OS 11 is the newest OS for the Apple TV. Many expect that the official release of TV OS 11 will come with the new Apple TV 5th generation that'll be announced on September 12th. Is there anything about it that really stands out to you, Greg? I've played with it a little bit, but I've kept my review Apple TV stock because not all apps work on it right now. So let me know. All right, keep the questions coming, everybody. What DVR to record over there? TV only without a subscription. If you don't want to pay a subscription and you're not looking to pay a lifetime fee, for instance, TiVo and Tableau DVRs are both great, and they both offer a lifetime subscription option, so you can not pay monthly bills on it. But you can get Channel Master. It's a buy it right up front. It's all there. Does lack some of the features of other devices out there. And shop around. I find if you get like a Tableau on sale, the lifetime subscription can be not a bad price point on that. So TiVo, Tableau, and Channel Master are really good ones for everybody. If you have a home media server, Plex DVR is not a bad option. Think Hulu Live TV will ever get AMC channel. I mean, it's completely possible. Typically, though, we don't get a lot of warning when Hulu and others add local or a channel. So we'll have to wait and see. We don't know. We just don't know if that will happen or not. Streaming players such as being allowed to have apps from Apple, Android, and Roku all in one box. There is no box like that. Apple doesn't let other people have their apps. Roku has their own system. The Fire TV and Android are the closest because Fire TV is an Android OS, so you can sideload Android apps onto the Fire TV. But no, and it doesn't really matter because increasingly they all have the same apps. Roku still has an edge in number of apps and streaming services for a variety of reasons. Fire TV is in a solid second. Apple TV and Android are kind of fighting for third place right now, and I think it's kind of a leapfrog game. Who's gonna have the most. But all the big services are pretty much on everything right now. Robert asks, any more information on more than 2 streams at once for DirecTV Now? Well, DirecTV Now did do a survey of their readers asking if they would like to have more than 2 streams. Nothing has come of it so far, but at least they've asked the question, so it's possible. Beyond that, nothing official. Do you think the new Nexus player, which is rumored to come out, I'm not sure it's going to be called a Nexus player from Google, is in the works? Because the rumors it could be a new Nexus player rather than a MyBox 2nd generation. I'm actually leaning towards that we're more likely to get something like a MyBox, which Google came out, announced, kind of put their stamp of approval on, and released it, but it wasn't made by Google. So we'll have to wait and see. Past that, all I know is my sources are saying this fall, new Android-based streaming players hitting the market. But, you know, the NVIDIA Shield was supposed to hit the market last fall due to holdups for a variety of reasons. I think Amazon was part of that. It didn't come out until the spring. A lot of the apps don't have a... I'm confused. I don't think that was to me, Robert. Is PlayOn worth the money? You know, the thing with PlayOn, it says they record streams. It breaks the terms of service out there. So be warned, there's no reason why Netflix and others won't do something to ban or block PlayOn. It does break your terms of service that you agree to when you sign up for a service. So keep the questions coming. If you haven't, though, please subscribe to us Twitter. Just look for us at courtcardsnews.com. We just topped 16,000 subscribers there. YouTube.com. I see there's a ton of people there who are new. Welcome. We do weekly Q&As every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern for an hour. We answer your court related questions, trying to help you save some money on your cable bill and still watch the shows you want. So we do reviews, how-to guides, news recaps, and these Q&As. So please subscribe, hit the like button. It really does help us. And tell your friends about courtcardsnews.com. How is PlayStation View, DVR, and the Apple TV? Craig, it's the same as all the other devices. 28 days. 28 days, you keep your content. After 28 days, it's auto-deleted. It's 28 days, right? I said 28 days for the DVR, and suddenly I had this like in my back of my head. Is it 30? No, it's 28. It's 28, I think. Somebody help me. So many services to keep straight. You know, we just learned that DirecTV Now's beta test DVR, which, by the way, I posted more photos today about the new app and the new DVR service, will only have 100 hours of DVR space, and it will allow you to fast forward through commercials, at least in beta. Thanks, everybody. So, yes, 28 days, it deletes it on PlayStation View. So many services. Fubo, you know, Hulu, YouTube. I mean, it's kind of confusing sometimes to keep it straight. Sean says movies never seem to disappear. I've had movies disappear off the PlayStation View DVR before. My biggest thing about PlayStation View DVR is it sometimes records more than I want. Last fall, I set it up to record a football game because I wanted to watch a game. I had a place to go, so I set it up to record. I came home and they recorded every single game on every single ESPN network. I had like 100 NFL or college football games on my DVR from PlayStation View. I think they could maybe help make it a little easier to say, I just want this one episode. Would be pretty cool. Any hints on when Amazon will have new hardware? Yeah, so I posted about this Monday, and I'm going to stand by this. I would not buy the current Fire TV box. Again, the box, because I expect a new Fire TV to come out in the next month or two, or at least be announced. Typically, Amazon, a couple weeks before that happens, will put the current model on sale. Not always. It depends on how much stock they have. For instance, a new Echo is expected next week, maybe even this week still, and they just had a big sale on the Echo, and it's currently now unavailable. And that's in expectation of a new box coming out. So I would wait. If you really want the new one, or the current one, I would wait for it to go on sale. If you can wait, I would wait for the new box to come out. By the way, new Apple TV coming September 12th. I would not buy the current Apple TV. A couple reasons on there. You never know with Apple. When the 4th generation Apple TV came out, they did not do a good job of supporting the 3rd generation. There is no physical reason why the 3rd generation Apple TV couldn't have got the App Store, couldn't have got many of the features that are on the 4th gen. They just never brought them to the older player. So you may want to wait and get the newer one. I know some people are like, oh, you know, the 3rd generation Apple TV couldn't handle it. Not true. Processing speed's more than enough. The internal memory is more than enough for apps. Remember that 32 gigabytes of hard drive space was meant for gaming, not for apps. You think about the Roku 3 and all the apps you can put on a Roku 3. The Apple TV 3rd generation has about the same, I think actually a little bit more memory than the Apple 3 or the Roku 3. So I would wait 2 more weeks on the Apple TV and wait a few more weeks if you can on the new on the Fire TV, because I think that would be a good way to do it. Any advice on the NBA League's pass subscription? I love it. My recommendation, keep an eye on it. Sometimes they do sales, but not always. Phil is asking if you can fast forward on the DirecTV Now DVR. Yes, I posted about this, Phil. Go to coldcarsnews.com. I posted more screenshots of the DirecTV Now DVR today. I posted more details about it today. So go over to coldcarsnews.com, scroll down, and take a look at the post I did today about the DirecTV Now DVR. But yes, you can fast forward through commercial breaks. Some limitations there, mostly in how far and how fast you can fast forward. And I got a bunch of pictures of the DVR in action. Robert, yes, 32 gigabytes is way overkill. I mean, 1 gigabyte. You think about it, most apps are sub 10 megabytes or whatever they call them, MB. You can, I mean, the Roku 3 just has like 512 megabytes of space. And you can put like 100, depending on the size of the app, Roku channels on that. 32 gigabytes on the Apple TV was never meant for the apps. You could put thousands and thousands of streaming apps on 32 gigabytes. What it was meant for is gaming. And I think Apple's kind of realized gaming, people want gaming, they're going to get a Xbox, they're going to get a PlayStation and Nintendo. So I think you've noticed recently, Apple's really downplayed the gaming aspect of it. So keep that in mind. I with Apple TV, I wouldn't recommend the 64 gigabyte version unless you really intend to game. I think Apple did miss real quick, I'll get back to the questions here. I think Apple missed an opportunity with the 32 gigabyte and 64 gigabyte version, because I would have loved the ability to download movies from iTunes onto my Apple TV, take the Apple TV with me, and take it to a cottage or take it to a hotel with me, somewhere where I may not have internet, and then I can do that. I can stream it. Or my daughter loves Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I would have loved the ability to download a whole season of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse there and let her rewatch it over and over and over without it going against my data cap. So I think Apple missed an opportunity there. I wish a streaming player would do that to allow me to download directly to the streaming player, take it with me, rewatch the same kids shows over and over without it counting against my data cap, and so forth. Gary, 32 gigabytes is way overkill with streaming. You can put like 100, Roku puts 100 Roku channels on 512 megabytes. You can put 200 apps, streaming apps on about a gigabyte. So the likelihood you're going to have over 200 streaming apps on your Apple TV is very small. Well, yeah, Dean. I mean, Roku has an entire section on their app store for games. I get it. Dean says, not so fast, Luke. I've read that the new iOS 11, which is coming this fall, has an entire section in the app store just for games. Well, so does the Fire TV. So does Roku. It doesn't mean that they intend to make it a major aspect of the Apple TV. They've been downplaying it recently, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're getting rid of it. I'm not saying Apple's getting rid of it. I just think Apple has realized that people are not buying the Apple TV for games. They're buying it for streaming. The fact that it may play a game or two is cool, but that's not the reason they're buying it. just to be clear. Yeah, I agree with you, Robert. The ability to download your applications or your movies and so forth, watch them offline and so forth, would have been an excellent feature. Apple, enable that. You have a killer feature right there. You would sell hundreds of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of Apple TVs because of that feature. With over half of America having data caps, the ability to have a feature like that where you don't have to use data every time your kid wants to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse would make Apple a standout selling. Hey, Apple, I'll send you a bill later. All right, so if you have questions, keep them on up. Yeah, I know, Bill. I know I keep promising that store is coming. I've had a rather busy month of August. And I have not set anything up to sell these. I actually did create a store online for these, and I got some test products and looked at them, and quality was not good. I really don't want to sell poor quality stuff. So look for that soon. Now that the kids are back in school, we'll see. Yeah, Jimmy, I have heard that too, that the new Apple phone, iPhone 9, is it? Somebody help me. 8, 9, I'm blanking out. Numbers day is not good for me. The rumor is it will cost $1,000 to get it, which, you know, raises the question: are they going to keep the Apple TV 150, or are they going to raise it to 200? We don't know. But I understand people's concern over that. My recommendation is wait and see. iPhone 8. My apologies. All right, what do you think of the MyBox? I think the MyBox is fine. But I would get, if you're looking at the MyBox versus the Fire TV, get the Fire TV. It will do everything the MyBox does, but does it better. The MyBox does feel a little cheap. I noticed when I did my 4K streaming testing on it, it seemed to lag out a little bit on there. But again, if you can wait a few more weeks, I expect in the next month or two, we'll have a new Fire TV box on the market. All right. Thanks you, Robert. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make this a priority next week after the holiday. I had a whole store, and a couple things is it wouldn't allow me to put the logo on both sides, and the quality wasn't good. It just wasn't good quality. I wasn't happy with it, and I don't want to sell junk. If I'm gonna sell a t-shirt, if I'm gonna sell a mug, I don't want to charge crazy amount of money, but I want to feel like if you're paying $20 for a t-shirt, that it feels like the quality should be worth $20, if that makes any sense. Is it true that Disney will be offering an app on Roku that you can subscribe to? Yes, Rob, but not until 2019. So in 2019, Disney has announced that they will release a streaming service on a wide range of streaming devices for a standalone subscription. We don't know what that's going to entail. We don't know what that's going to cost. Rumors are, though, that'll be about $5 or cheaper, but what you will get for that is all up in the air. So keep that in mind. Do you see broadcast regional areas increasing when 3.0 rolls out? Yes. So the new 3.0 over-the-air standard is designed to do a better job punching through trees, hills, power lines, homes. So reception areas should improve. How much? It's hard to say. One of the things they say a lot is that the current footprints in areas that are weak will see a noticeable improvement in signal strength. Hello, Bishop. So keep that in mind. Is Hulu Live streaming give you live football content for NFL games? Yes and no. Hulu Live does not have the NFL network, but Hulu Live TV does have a ton of regional local games, and I'll explain that in a minute. It does have ESPN for Sunday night games, but you won't get the NFL network, at least not right now. They could change that. Currently, the NFL network is only on Sling TV and PlayStation Vue at the time I say this. Now, as a lot of people have been concerned because some preseason games were blacked out on these streaming services. I'd like to remind everybody that preseason games is a totally different contract than NFL regular season. From talking to Sling TV and others, they've reassured me that the same streaming policies from last year will apply this year to the NFL. So you should be able to watch your NFL games on PlayStation Vue, DirecTV Now, etc. if you get them in your home market. So keep that in mind. As far as the NFL Network, your blackout, all those kinds of stuff typically applies. The only catch here is Thursday night games. Thursday night games on NFL or on CBS, and NBC will only air on Amazon Prime streaming. You will still be able to get them with an antenna, but Amazon bought the streaming rights to it, so keep that in mind. Mobile restrictions do apply. You are unable to use Sling TV on your phone to stream a game outside your home network, and that's because of Verizon's contract. Jimmy says, I have 3 Roku TVs with no Ethernet ports. Depends what TVs. I believe newer TVs on the TCL brand do offer them. It depends on what TVs you get. Bishop, we do. We talk about Kodi, but we don't talk about anything piracy. We're here to only do legal options. So if you have a legal question about Kodi, ask away. CBS All Access on Sunday does stream NFL games now. Yes, that is correct there, Dean. Any new news on VidGo? So VidGo was announced, I think, over a year ago now, it feels like. Maybe a year and a half. It was over a year and a half ago now. VidGo announced that they were going to be a live TV streaming service to take on Sling TV. Still not on the market, but they still say they're coming. So we'll have to wait and see. There was a deal out there that a press release came out that I forget what cable channel has signed up with VidGo, and they said that VidGo has contracts with cable or with cell phone providers to put VidGo on cell phones, whatever that means. We'll have to wait and see, but VidGo is still coming. Ethernet, James said he's noticed Ethernet's on the 4K models. I think in 2017, I think most of them have it, except for maybe the very cheap ones, but don't count me on that. Gary, I do expect WWE to continue to improve their WWE Network streaming service. As far as will the USA Network stuff come on there, I don't know, but they're renewing the contract in the next year or so. Bishop, if you're having buffering, it's probably a pirate service on Kodi, and that's probably your problem. You're using a pirate service, you get what you pay for. What, Steven, are you asking what streaming providers offer CBS? I'm not sure I understand your question. Jimmy says, what do you think about Showtime pay-per-view and UFC crashing? From my understanding, Showtime for most people worked pretty well. UFC was the one that struggled. So I think it's good that both of them are offering refunds. Sling TV stayed up, but yeah, it wasn't just streaming. Cable networks struggled too, and they delayed the fight for 20 minutes because of all the pay-per-view events. So we'll keep that in mind. Bishop, you say you're paying for an IPTV service through Kodi. That's a piracy service. Just because you pay for it nowadays doesn't mean that it's not piracy. Eric, if it's inside the official one out there, keep that in mind. You know, hey, Dusty, I just looked at that. That DirecTV Now, or that link you sent me is not for DirecTV Now. That link is for DirecTV. And DirecTV has always charged you a box rental fee or a service rental fee for their DVR. Will DirecTV Now charge it? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. How do you stream the fight? I didn't watch the fight, Jimmy, but from everything I've heard, the service that did the best was Sling TV. Sling TV seemed to be the only one that stayed up. Is US TV Now League legit? No. I can say 99.9% certainty they are not. A couple reasons why. A, they won't talk to me. That's a red flag. When somebody that won't talk to the press and doesn't advertise, that's a red flag. 2, NBC had a award show earlier this year that they didn't stream on any service. They came out with a press release saying, our rights to air this award show did not include streaming. We were not allowed to stream this award show. You PlayStation View, Sling TV, DirecTV Now all blacked it out. Not USA or US TV Now. They streamed it. That's a red flag. Probably not legit. Bishop, yeah, I would say that's probably not a legitimate service. Just saying. CBS and Files are partnered for a streaming service. Yeah, we're hearing that Verizon Files streaming service should come out this week or this month, next month, sometime soon. Thank you, Dusty. Jimmy, I don't believe that's, if I remember right, that's probably not a legitimate service. Is Verizon coming out with an app for Roku? Probably. I mean, they haven't even released or announced officially their service, so we'll have to wait. You know, before we start trying to figure out what apps it's on, let's get the official announcement of the new streaming service. Yes, Chris, you can stream, depending on the channel, up to 3 streams at once per channel. So keep that in mind. You can watch it. You know, if I'm traveling for work, that my wife and daughter could be watching Sling here, I could be watching Sling in California. What's the best way to set up an outdoor antenna without putting holes in the roof? You know, I don't know. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to run that cable inside. You could hire a professional like Dish will come to your house and set up an antenna. You know, if you're worried about that, what I did is I put my outdoor antenna in my attic. Few reasons there. That means I don't have to worry about grounding it, lightning strikes, etc. And so keep that in mind. Think about putting it in your attic if you don't want to cut holes in it or you're worried about getting on your roof. Or hire somebody. Does Fire TV take micro SD cards? Second generation Fire TV boxes do. They swapped out the optical audio for a micro SD card slot. So Bill, yes, second generation Fire TVs. Why I can't watch CBS on my tablet but my phone? I don't know. I don't know what service you're using. I don't know that, Stephen, why that's happening. Do you need new equipment for 3.0? No, right now you do not. You may need when it comes out, and it's not coming out until most markets know next year. You may need to upgrade to a box, but there's debate about backwards compatibility, all stuff. Don't worry about 3.0 over the RTV standard. Just don't worry about it. It's not an issue right now. Jimmy says, is there a cheaper option for an over-the-air antenna other than the new antenna you use for Wi-Fi? Jimmy, I mean, over-the-air TV antennas are like $20 for really cheap ones. You get what you pay for, but even the most expensive ones are only about $100. Hello, Colin. Greg, CBS All Access this year will show Sunday games in markets where they support live streaming. Geek Squad does install antennas. I'm not sure the pricing. I haven't used them. I have used the Dish one, and I've been very impressed with it. Yes, the new Mohu Airwave wireless indoor antenna is going to come out this weekend if nothing has changed, and that's one to watch. It's not outdoor, indoor only. So even though it's wireless, it's not recommended to get wet. All right, so keep the questions coming. But I'm going to take a quick moment here to catch my breath. We're going to play a quick ad because that pays the bills on YouTube that some people see right now and some people won't. But while I'm playing an ad on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, we just hit 16,000 Twitter followers. We're trying to push that to 20,000 by the end of the year. And youtube.com/CoreCarsNews. Again, we're almost at 16,000 there, so we're pushing. We're almost at 40,000 on Facebook, so thank you to everybody. If you're watching this on a share, maybe think about liking us on youtube.com/CoreCarsNews or facebook.com/CoreCarsNews. Would really appreciate your support there. We would love it if you would follow us. And we'll do our best to help you get the most out of your cord cutting experience. So keep that in mind. It's great to see everybody back here. Looks like the ad break is over. Thank you for watching that. It pays the bills, helps me keep doing this. This is my full-time job. So, keep the questions coming. And I'll do my best to answer them. I have a Roku and love it. Thank you for your valuable info. I've been talking a lot today. It's been a busy day. Info. All right, Luke, when you tested the Clearstream TV, did you notice that it gets hot? Yeah, it gets warm. I mean, it gets fairly warm, but not, I wouldn't worry about it. All streaming devices get warm. Your cable box gets warm. I wouldn't put it under like a pile of clothes, if that makes any sense. All right, YouTube Red for the win. Yeah, thank you for watching this. If you pay Dish to come out and install an antenna and you can pull in any channel or very few, do you still have to pay them? Before they come out, they check your address and they try to lay out what you can expect. But before you pay Dish, I would go to antennarecommendations.com, enter your address, and see what realistically you can get. Because if you get them to come out and they do the work, you're paying. The good thing, though, is with sites like antennarecommendation.com, you can see what channels you should be able to get with their new antenna. Theo Thomas, any new Roku channels? Nothing that I've heard of. The Hulu one, I'm still using the beta on my Roku. I noticed they took the beta down, so it's no longer available. But that probably means, I'm guessing, that the official Hulu app for Roku is coming soon. Past that, we haven't seen anything. If you live in market, Steven, for your Comcast Sports, now NBC Sports, yes, you will be able to watch in-market games. You must live in that market and get that channel to be able to watch them. All right. Yeah, Greg, preseason games run off a different contract than regular seasons. So, yeah, that's why they're often on weird channels, too. Like, oh, my network TV or the CW is airing an NFL game for preseason, because the NFL sells preseason rights separate from their regular contract. If I were to have the new Mohu indoor antenna at Best Buy, will Geek Squad be able to install it? If you're looking at that, I mean, they can. The indoor antennas are so easy to set up. I would try to do it yourself before you hire somebody. It's so simple, so straightforward. Mike, yes, I am live. Hey, Jimmy, I didn't see your last question. Can you re-ask it? I can't scroll back. There's so many questions. It creates issues. Is there any way to get an NFL Sunday ticket on a Roku without having a DirecTV account? If you're a student or if you live in an apartment complex that won't allow it. Those are the two options. I wish I could use an over-the-air antenna. Antenna recommendations say I can receive 0 channels. You know, James, you may want to shop around for a streaming option. You know, when I cut the cord, I had no over-there channels, and I didn't pay cable for it. What I just did is I used Hulu to get my shows the next day. I used, like, Watch ESPN from Sling back, you know, this is when Sling was new, and to get ABC games. CBS streams their college sports games free over there. There's ways to do it. Keep that in mind. How about any info on the Air TV? Did it really take off? Well, I got kind of really can't see it, but the top right hand corner of your left hand corner, my right hand corner over here is the Air TV box and adapter. Corner reports it's been doing really well. The sales keep struggling to keep up. I guess a lot of outages and availability for the Air TV. So sounds good. Game Pass will give you replay access. I don't think Game Pass gives out of market access. Sorry. At least not live. All right, keep the questions coming. We got a few more minutes. We got about 10 more minutes here, and then we'll wrap this up. So 10 more minutes to get your question. Jimmy says, is there a cheaper option than the Mohu to tie 3 TVs into one over-there Wi-Fi? I mean, there's the Clearstream TV, which will turn into Wi-Fi. That's $140. There is the Tableau DVR, that's about 200 bucks on average. So that's about your options. Is the Air TV any good? I think so. I've been very happy. It's a very powerful streaming player. The integration's really nice, so I like the Air TV. Thank you. Says I'm new to your channel. Enjoy your shows. Keep them coming. We're going to keep doing more and more on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. Tell your friends. Trying to hit 16,000 YouTube subscribers. We're going to keep doing more and more stuff on YouTube. And I'm still playing around with the idea of doing more and more live events like this. I don't think we're going to be able to do a live stream of the Apple TV event. I kind of have a meeting scheduled at the same time. We'll see what I can make happen. But look for more live events here on YouTube. Which live TV streaming services are streamed in 60 frames per second? Most of them are, but not on most channels. For instance, Sling TV, PlayStation View, DirecTV Now puts a lot of their sports channels at 60 frames per second. But for instance, MTV will stream at 30 frames per second. And they do that to help keep bandwidth. There's all kinds of concerns there. But yeah, so pretty much all of them do right now, I believe, but not on all channels. All locals on Air TV. Steven, Air TV is just a streaming player. You plug your antenna, whatever your antenna gets is what the Air TV will get for locals. It's not going to magically pull stuff that's not there, if that makes any sense. 1 second. I keep forgetting that it's later in the year and it gets darker quicker. You know, we used to do these at 6 my time. Now we're doing them at 7 my time Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And that means the sun sets earlier. I got to turn that light on before I start this. I just haven't. I need to be better about that. You know, Michael, I do not have any guides about setting up a media server for Plex. I'll look into that as an option. Scott's a different Scott this time says, I just started cord cutting. I have an Apple TV 3rd generation. I had 25 down internet and I still get buffering. Couple things there. First of all, 25 down is more than enough to stream. I cut the cord with 10 down and it works. You need to have a good Wi-Fi router. So if you have an older one, you may want to upgrade to an AC standard. You will see noticeable improvement there, especially if you have a ton of devices. And you know, some routers can handle up to 8 devices connected to them. Some can handle up to 50. And if you have a router that's designed for 8 wireless devices, but you put like 12 on them, that will slow down the data going through your Wi-Fi router, and that will cause buffering. Number 2, make sure you're actually you're getting the speed you pay for. And number 3, if you have a 3rd generation Apple TV, when the 5th generation one comes out here in about 2 weeks, I strongly recommend you upgrade. Because the 3rd generation is just not getting those newer services and newer features. Before you try for extenders, Commodore, I would recommend trying to buy a more powerful Wi-Fi router. Invest the money you would have spent in a Wi-Fi extender for a much more powerful Wi-Fi router. And that's my recommendation. That seems to really do the best job. Rather than extenders too, I'm much more of a fan of like the Netgear Orbs, which is like a mesh Wi-Fi network. It works different than an extender. So, and go from there. Bishop, I already answered your question too. Your buffering is because you're using a pirate service, not because you're using a legitimate service and may have network issues. The Orb Faux Wi-Fi router is not a bad one. It's a little pricey, but I've been thinking about upgrading to the Netgear Orbs. I think that's a Netgear, right? Google has another one. I haven't tested that one, but I'm hearing really good things about the Netgear Orb system. Wi-Fi extenders are less than 20 Wi-Fi in. Yes, Commodore, but my point here is you really should get a AC standard and take you have 4 $20 ones. So that's 80 bucks there. Take that 80, apply it towards a new AC standard, and maybe get a $150 one. Get one a little bit more powerful. That'll be my recommendation for best performance. I don't live where you live. I haven't seen your house. Your experience may differ. Do what's right for you. But my default recommendation is always go out there and get a more powerful router before you spend money on Wi-Fi extenders. Power line adapters from TP is not bad. I use some here for a variety of reasons. So they're pretty cool. And I've been thinking about getting one to go to my living room and then connecting that for my TV. Is DirecTV Now adding the NFL Network? Is there any word on CBS channels? So DirecTV Now said in the next couple weeks, CBS Network will be added to DirecTV Now. The NFL Network rumor came from a chat agent chat, and where somebody took screenshots of after they asked a chat agent if they would be adding it, and they said by the end of the week they would add it. Is basically what they said, and it didn't happen. It's been 2 weeks. No, it's been basically 2 weeks, and there's been no NFL Network available at this time. My recommendation is don't trust what the DirecTV Now chat agents say, because they typically seem to say whatever it takes to get you off the chat quicker. So could they add it? Sure, they could add DirecTV Now tomorrow, but currently only PlayStation Vue and Sling TV offer the NFL Network. I don't know if Virginia will get it. It's only CBS owned and operated stations right now, but DirecTV and AT&T have said that they are working on contracts to add more affiliate owned CBS stations. So expect CBS stations to start rolling out hopefully fairly quickly. We'll wait and see. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, leave me a comment and let me do my best to help you. Do you know why Flixster Video shut down a few days ago? You're saying that the digital codes they gave are not working on Vudu. Huh, I didn't know that. So Flixster Video, which is a separate service but owned by the same company that owns Flixster, the app that tells you movie times and everything, was a streaming service they ran. They shut down. Let's just be honest. They didn't do anything to create a name for themselves. They probably realized that we're losing money on this service, so we're going to shut it down. You know, Vudu, Fandango Now, Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, list goes on and on, are pretty much ate their lunch. So that's why it shut down. If the digital code you received to move your movies to Vudu didn't happen, I would try to contact their customer support. Bishop, do I talk about other things like what I use to shave my head? Well, I use the Gillette ball razor, you know, the one with the ball on it, that's the flexible head. I find that works really well. I don't have to worry about the angle so much. It's well worth a few extra dollars a month to get the Gillette version. So there you go. There's my non-cord cutting tip of the day for all the guys. And my second tip of the day, if you're balding, shave the head. It just looks better. How can you use an over-the-air antenna to get local channels through Pluto TV on a Roku TV? So if you own a Roku TV and you connect an antenna to the Roku TV, and then you scan it with the Roku TV channel finder, scan all your channels, then Pluto TV will take those channels, put it into the Pluto TV guide. That's all you gotta do. So connect an antenna to your Roku TV, run the channels guide by just opening up the antenna app on your Roku, and then Pluto will auto-populate the over-the-air channels. Drake says, hi Luke, I just joined in. What or any specifics on the news you release on DirecTV Now and the DirecTV Sport today? Are you talking about how they're merging the forums there, Derek? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the DVR? I just want to make sure I understand what your question is fully. Do you think Roku will come up with a new device next year in 2018? Probably in 2018. I did predict, though, that a 4K Roku stick will likely be coming out this year. So I expect that Roku will roll out a new Roku stick this year. The Roku stick is currently the oldest player in its current lineup. The TV lines have been updated, the boxes have been updated, but not the Roku stick. So I expect that to happen, and I expect it's a quad-core processor. It's very powerful. If you're going to update the Roku stick, what would you update it with? Well, 4K. I expect 4K Roku stick to come out. Will PlayStation Vue get more over-the-air channels like decades? Possible. I don't know. if they'll be adding more. They didn't even announce when Decades came out. It was just there. Sony. Hey, Sony. Two things. A, you need to reply more than every 10 emails. Two, your PR sucks. I mean, you are doing some cool stuff over there, rolling out new features, new locals, and you tell no one about it. And that's just dumb. You know, you're hurting yourself. Number three, calling yourself PlayStation View confuses people and it loses customers. If you would change it to View TV, you'd probably get a lot more customers. Colin, I did not see your question. Ask again. If I want to cut the cable, what do I need to do first? Jenny, my number one thing about cutting the cable, my number one tip is don't rush into it. Go to cordcuttersnews.com, Jenny. Cordcuttersnews.com. At the top of the site, there's a button called Cord Cutting 101. Read that. But here's a quick rundown. First of all, I recommend trying out different streaming services. They all offer free trials. It is well worth your time to go out there and add, try Slinks, try PlayStation View, try DirecTV Now. They all offer free trials. Get a couple streaming players, set yourself up. Before you cut the cord, test everything. Make sure your antenna works the way you want it to. Make sure you got the streaming services you want. I find it takes a few weeks to a month or so to really find everything you want. And after you've set yourself up, you have your streaming players, you have the services you want, then cancel the cord. Too often people cancel the cord and then quickly try to rush and run to Walmart and buy a couple Rokus and buy an antenna. What happens is, A, they typically overpay because they may buy the wrong thing. And two, it's kind of like switching from Amazon or from an iPhone to Android or Android to iPhone. It's all there, but you kind of have to learn it. It's in a different spot. It's in a different service. You have to change your views. Like, instead of thinking about Fox being channel 5 in your local lineup, for example, well, Fox shows are now on Hulu and so on. So keep that in mind. Luke, do you think there will be, you think the Roku will ever get a single sign-in feature like the Apple TV? Sure, I don't see why not. I think there's some complication there to setting it up, but I'm sure they can do it. For some reason, some TV providers have seemed very resistant to the idea of that, but we'll wait and see. Here's my question. Do you think, I just saw that. I just answered that, Colin. I'm sorry. Yes, I do think they could win. I don't know. And I think the main holdup is content providers. Why they're so against single sign-ons, I don't know. I'm an Android user mostly, for a variety of reasons. I mostly work. Mostly because Android does some stuff I need for work with Cord Cutters News that I like how it works. I will say I really love widgets on my phone. I love the glancing feature of it. That's another reason I picked Android. I do own quite a bit of Apple stuff. My wife has an iPhone, and I think it's fine, but I use Android. PlayStation View going to add stars. I don't know. They could, but they haven't announced anything about it. 410 error, 4-100 errors. I'm not sure. I believe that's usually a backend issue. If it still is happening on Sling TV in 30 minutes or so, call Sling TV customer service. Keep your eyes open. Maybe we'll have more screenshots of the new DirecTV Now service. Keep your eyes open. We're always fishing for breaking news. Bishop, you can't remove bloatware off phones. Verizon does it. They all do it. Buy your phone direct from Google to avoid bloatware. I think can you buy an iPhone directly from Apple and not get bloatware? I believe you can too if you get an iPhone. Why is it that you have to re-sign into Roku channels every couple months? Jimmy, I don't have that. Could it be possible that you're sharing your password with other people? Because I know sometimes that accounts, if they see consistent usage of the same account in multiple locations, they'll kick you off. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Commodore, there's ways you could hack it and use custom ROMs and stuff, but it's not kind of my expertise, and I don't want to recommend things that I am not familiar with and that could break your phone. Have you played with the new Hulu Live beta on Roku? Yes, I have played with that quite a bit, actually. You know, it's nice. It's definitely a beta. There's a few glitches. It seems like they've stopped updating it. I kind of expect an official rollout soon, so we'll wait and see. Why doesn't Go90 have apps on Roku and Fire TV? Go90 is a Verizon. I think that's part of it. But I think that their contract is limited. So Go90 is excellent. I mean, they got Babylon 5, and I do love Babylon 5. So I hope they do come to Roku. We'll wait and see. But I believe that their contract currently with their streaming rights prevents them from streaming on other platforms. When is Roku going to get new channels like OWN? Roku's adding channels almost daily right now. So, anytime. All right, folks. I think that's it. We're wrapping it up. We got one last question to get in. I may grab 1 or 2 more questions. But if you're new here, join us every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Also, I see we have a ton of new people over on YouTube and Facebook too. Hey, consider subscribing. We would really appreciate it. Not only do we do weekly Q&As here at 8 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday, we also do regular reviews, how-to guides, tips and tricks, all with the goal of helping you get the most out of your cord cutting experience to save some money. So keep that in mind. Is Roku Ultra the only streaming device with Dolby 5.1? I don't know. I want to say the NVIDIA Shield has it, but somebody help me. Any other Dolby 5.1 surround sound streaming players other than the Roku and maybe the NVIDIA Shield? Check that before you buy it. TiVo is not bad. I think you're paying a lot for the name on TiVo. I kind of like Tableau. I think Tableau does a lot more cord cutting friendly features. You know, the problem with using your hotspot is Verizon, once you hit 20-some gigabytes, reserves the right, doesn't mean they're always going to do this, to throttle you. So if you use over 20 gigabytes in your unlimited hotspot plan, it will still work. They just may slow you down. And they'll do that typically if there's network congestion. So keep that in mind, that you may find yourself one day unable to stream because your internet speed's way slower. Bishop, you know, we just don't really talk about piracy, and I've talked about Kodi here and there with the legitimate, but we don't talk about piracy. So keep that in mind. And you know, Verizon's not the only one. They all do it. Even the ones who say they don't do it, if they get in network congestion, they will slow you down. So keep that in mind. You know, people say, oh, Verizon is. I think Verizon gets the rap on it because I think they do a little bit more. Verizon has more customers, so that's probably why. Well, everybody, I'm going to hit an ad over on YouTube because that pays the bills. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe. Please like. Not just liking these. Please like random posts on Facebook. It really does help. And thank you for being here. You know, your support makes Scorecards News happen. I'm eternally grateful for the positive feedback, positive support from the readers and viewers like you. It really means a lot to me when I hear that we've helped you and helped you grow. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great Wednesday. I hope you guys all have a great holiday weekend here in the United States. I'm going to watch some football starting tomorrow. My life will revolve around work, mowing the grass, playing some golf, and football soon. Go Blue. I'll see you all next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe.